Well, hello everyone to another edition of Create Your Magnificent Life. This is the Magnificent Life in Business radio show. And I am here with my producer, Wendy.
Hello.
And the purpose of this show really is to show people that, hi Michaela, glad you're here. The purpose of the show is to encourage people that they have a dream in their heart. They have many dreams in their heart, and those dreams are put in their heart and their head by God himself. And if we don't fulfill our dreams throughout life, if we don't fulfill our purpose and our destiny, then we live meaningless lives. We flounder, we just kind of drift along. We have this lackluster existence. And God wants so much more for us than that. Now, some people want to fulfill their dreams and their purpose through their businesses. I happen to be one of those people. I love being in business. I love the challenge of business. I love all that you can learn in business. Being in business is pretty incredible. And but sometimes, we're tempted to give up. Sometimes the frustration gets so high and we get so discouraged. I know I did. There was a period of time when I would get, I just felt lost. I was great in ministry and speaking. I had a book on the favor of God, but how to turn that into business, how to get paid for what I knew to do, for my expertise was, it was just like, I didn't understand it. And so I was with a group of people in a mastermind group and a coach, and a lot of people saw things in me that I didn't see in myself. One of the things they saw, thankfully, was that I'm a coach. I'm a good coach. And, after the last 5 years, I've been coaching and I make really good money coaching. Yeah. But I'm telling you, the first year I was in business, I made $2,500. And I used to say to God, thank you for making me, because for some reason, there's something about me that can't make money in this in any way. And it was really, really difficult. And I really felt like I can't make a go of it. I'm going to have to get a job or find something else to do. So what I thought about doing actually was go back to law. I had been a lawyer, go back to law. And Michaela is empathizing here. You get it. Go back to law. And I was going to get my master's in elder law because it was a hot market. I had a job in a law firm. They were already to hire me. So I had ready money waiting for me. So when you consider being a coach and a speaker and an author with an uncertain income, not even knowing if you're going to make this work, and then you have a job in a law firm where you are esteemed and there's money flowing in steadily, it's kind of like, which one do I choose? And I actually ended up choosing the unstable adventure of being an entrepreneur. One of the things that was so difficult for me, though, that almost did me in, was I just didn't know how to charge for my services. What should I charge? How do I get the words even out of my mouth? They were just like it choked right here. So the first time somebody even asked me what I charged, it was like sweat pouring off me, and I just eked out $50 an hour. And then I waited for this long, immense pause. Sometimes that silence, you can't take it. And we just want to say to them, I'll give it to you for free. I don't care. I can't stand the torture. But instead, she said, is that all? So, I've gone from that to a 6-figure income. But here's the thing. There was only really one thing that made the difference between that and this. And really that one thing is confidence. It's confidence. So what I try to help people with now is building their confidence. It's as simple as that. But there are things that, there are actually things that you can do to build your confidence. And I'm not talking about being like Stuart Smalley and looking in the mirror and saying, I am smart, I am fun, and doggone it, people like me, right? there's some very solid reasons, and that's what I want to talk about today. Some solid reasons as to why you should charge, and you should charge well for your services. And I would love it if anybody has any conversation or they want to, get online here with me to discuss some of these, please feel free. So let's get right to it, okay? Building up logically the reasons why to charge well is important. It's only one thing, though. I mean, knowing also how to design your programs and your packages, knowing what the marketplace is doing, knowing how to position yourself and to say the right things in the right way. Those all build your confidence also, knowing how to do that. Your mindset about money, about what you deserve in life, that all has to be addressed. But we're not going to really talk about that right now today. If you want to go and get more information, I do have a free training that I'm offering. Wendy, would you just put this in the chat box?
Sure.
And it's the name of the free training is called the name of it is called Charge with Confidence and Convert Your Expertise to Cash. And the website is convertyourexpertise-to-cash-freetraining.com. And then you can go over and get that, okay? Let me repeat that one more time. Convert your expertise to cash-freetraining.com. And if you could put that in the chat, that would be awesome, Wendy. Thank you so much.
Is it a / or is it a dash?
It's a dash.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Dash. And that was free. I'm sorry.
Free training.
Thank you.
Yep. Convert your expertise to cash-freetraining.com. All right, cool. All right, so let's talk about, powerful reason number one. Powerful reason number one is better results. All right, you will get better results if you charge well. And the reason I say that is that when people get things for free, even this free training, that if you were to pay for this free training I just offered, chances are you're going to do the work in it. Chances are you're going to take it seriously. Chances are you're going to actually listen to the video, watch the video, you'll take notes. You're going to get as most out of it. And probably the more money you pay for it, the more attention you're going to pay to it. Now, I'm giving it for free because I know there were some of you out there that will actually take it to heart and do something with it. But a lot of people, because it's free, they're not. They'll get a little morsel here, a little morsel there, but I still want you to have it. But the point I'm trying to make, of course, is that free trainings do not get as good of results as trainings that you pay for. You just don't. When I was coaching in the church, I had a big church community that several churches actually who would send to me they're not clients or patients, but they're members who were struggling with one issue or another. And it was my ministry. I volunteered. I never even thought about charging anything for it. It just didn't cross my mind. And a lot of times people didn't really know what they wanted other than to have somebody just sit and listen to them. Mm-hmm. And somebody just vent. Somebody to just vent. Who's that?
Hank.
Oh my gosh. Hello, Mr. Hank. So good to see you.
Love you, Marianne.
I love you too.
Are you on?
I'm on.
Oh, well, howdy. And howdy to everyone in Listerland.
Listening land. This is a good buddy here, Mr. Hank Uloff, who lives a little up north in Sedona.
Uh-huh.
So did you drive all the way down?
No, we actually started the day in Los Angeles.
Oh, you did?
We were seeing clients in Los Angeles, and we came back to Phoenix to do the show live here in studio.
Good, good. I've done that several times, and it's really fun.
It's the best.
Yes, yes. Well, good to see you. Hopefully, I will see you when I'm up in Sedona next time.
Absolutely. Stop by. You have a place.
Okay. Gotcha.
Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.
I thought you get a kick out of that.
I did. Thank you. So, the better results. So a lot of times they weren't looking for results. They were just looking for a shoulder to cry on. They were just looking for somebody to, say everything's going to be okay. And that's fine. That's fine. But I don't think people are going to pay thousands of dollars for somebody to do that. Today, and I will do that for anybody, but I'm also wanting them, if that's their goal, to move forward in a goal that they have in achieving results. I love getting results with people. So when I'm clear, and I wasn't always clear about the kind of results that I can help people achieve by working together with them, when I'm clear, then it's much easier for them to say, that's for me. It's much easier for them to pay the money that's worth that. People don't pay money for sessions. They pay money for results. They pay money for outcomes. So you will get better results and make more money for your services if you're clear about the kind of results that you can help people achieve. Let's see. Michaela says, it depends. People pay psychologists an arm and a leg, and that's basically what they do. Okay, to listen. That's a really good point. That's a really good point. But I'm going to tell you something. I get paid more money than a psychologist or a therapist or a psychiatrist. I know that. And why are people willing to pay me more money than that? But
She said, bam, bam.
That's right. I do. And the reason I do is because the people who want me and who are willing to pay the money are people who want results. So I started to see that difference there. I started to think, well, how can I make more money? I make more money than a lawyer, because a lot of times the people who are paying money for legal documentation or a will and a trust or whatever it is, that's something they feel like they have to do rather than something they want to do. So if you can tap into somebody's, not just their pain points, but their desires, and show them that whatever work you're doing, that's just a means to get to the outcomes. It's just a means to get to where it is they really want to go. And if you can help them to see where they really want to go and tap into that and show them how your process helps them to get there, then they're more likely to pay the money, so that there's a real good exchange. You deliver this, they deliver that. And the two of you are working in concert together on the results that they're trying to attain. A lot of times with psychologists and therapists, people are really just trying to get out of pain. They're not necessarily thinking about goals and results and outcomes. They're really oftentimes just trying to get out of pain. And that is a very valuable service too. But people will pay more for not just getting out of the pain, but also fulfilling results and desires that they are looking for. Okay, so charging well will give you the positive energy you need as well. So here's another thing. When people pay you well, isn't it true that you want to put forth more energy? Wouldn't you say that too? When you get paid well, don't you want to come up for it? Isn't there a part of you that you just can't help it but want to pay? You want to give more?
Yeah, you're more attentive.
You're more attentive. Mm-hmm. And you have more of, I'd just say a positive energy.
Yeah, and you also have more at stake because you're actually paying for the service. When you're paying for the service, you put something of yours out there, so you want to get as much for your money back. So that's another thing.
On the other side of the coin, that's true too. Exactly. So it works for both of you, and I've tested this. People used to tell me that this was true, that's why I needed to charge more, because I was so resistant to charging. And I really just thought, well, yeah, you're just trying to get more money out of me. Or I was cynical, actually. I was cynical. And so I tested this myself, and I have found it to be absolutely true. People will get better results. I have people that are, and some of the results, let's talk about some of that. What are some of the results that people are looking for? They're looking for, well, there's some basic ones: relationships, money, health, and wellness. All right, those are typically the three things that people are looking for: relationships, more money, or health and wellness. So if your business is to help them get any one of those three things, then if you can show them how what you do gets them those things, then you've got a better chance of charging more money. So I have people who are successful entrepreneurs, but maybe they're lonely. Maybe all the work that they've devoted, all the time and energy into putting into their business, now they have strained relationships maybe with their children. They want to know, how do I do that? How do I have a better relationship with my children? Or maybe they're divorced and they want to find the love of their life. Or they're single and they want to find the love of their life. So how do I do that? Or they have a dream and a mission to fulfill, and they want to do it through their business. But how do I make money doing it as well as fulfill my destiny and my mission? So we'll find out a way to do that. So tapping into what it is, the results that people want, is very critical. And I'd say the very first reason why you would need to charge well, because you'll get better results. It's going to cause you to figure out what are the results people are looking for, and it will cause them to come up for it as well. Make sense? Yeah?
Oh, totally.
Michaela, since you're on, what do you think of that? You can give us a little respond here, if she's still there. Maybe not. So anyway, that's reason number one. Does that make sense to you, Wendy?
Yeah, it makes sense to me, definitely.
Oh, she goes, sorry, what? I was wondering, Michaela, if you had a, her kid has a sliver. Oh, well, I hope you take care of that. Reminds me of the days. I used to get slivers all the time for some reason. Right. In your feet, in your hands. Oh my gosh. All right, so he'll be okay, she says. Well, good. Glad to hear that. What I was asking was, what do you think about that reason that if you charge better, people will get more positive results?
Perfect. She absolutely agrees.
Okay, cool. Well, if anybody has any questions about that, just make sure to put that in. All right, powerful reason number two. And this one is debatable from some people, but so I'm going to just try to talk you into this one. You deserve it. Mm-hmm. You deserve it. A lot of people don't think, they come from past. I have a history of neglect, abuse, abandonment, shame, feeling defective. And so thinking that I might deserve, to get compensated well, may be overridden by those old beliefs that I have. Hang on one second. I have to close the door here.
Okay.
Thank you. I'm glad we're casual here. Yeah. But I've also spent a lot of money getting good at what I do. Mm-hmm. All the things of my lifetime, even though I don't practice law, my legal degree, my legal education, and my law practice comes into play when we're talking about businesses. My experience with cash flow and finances comes into play. The cultivation of my gift God's given me in inspiration and in wisdom, come into play. The way that I learned about marketing and how to do even the things we're doing now. I've spent a lot of time, a lot of money, a lot of energy, and I bring all that to the table. If you're in business, you bring all that to the table. Wendy, do you have a lot of experience to sit in that chair?
Yes, I do. Years.
Years, right?
And a lot of training. Yeah.
Training. And do you have any certificates?
You know, the funny thing is my degree, I'm a graduate gemologist. So my training is all with diamonds and diamond grading. But after 14 years of being stuck behind a microscope, I decided to do training into this. And so I started with regular terrestrial radio, which is AM/FM. And then from there, I was trained to be a digital audio engineer or studio director. So, yeah.
Yeah. So here's the interesting thing. So your certification is in gemology,
Mm-hmm.
which may or may not have anything to do with what you're doing right now. I have no certifications in coaching.
Ah.
No certifications in coaching. All right. And I don't put anybody down that do have certifications in coaching. That's great for them. I've not felt like I've needed it. And I've also felt like somehow or another, it might kind of, change the way I do it.
Mm-hmm.
And the way I do it is very effective, right?
Yeah.
But at the same time, and I don't practice law. So my certification degree is in law. Yours is in gemology.
Mm-hmm.
But here's the thing, somehow, some way, what you learned in all of that, just because of how we are to progress through life, what you learned in all of that has something to do with what you're doing today.
Oh, definitely. I learned how to take care of people. I learned how to speak to people. And I also know how to really concentrate and dissect things, like dissecting a show. Okay, we need to put the commercial here. We need this. So yeah, with that training, it's from what I did before has really, really helped me cultivate relationships here.
Absolutely. Exactly. And then because sometimes I used to think everything was fragmented and one didn't have anything to do with the other.
Oh.
And one of the things that I learned in law school and as a lawyer was issue identification. We had to be able to identify what are the issues like that, right? Well, what do I do in people's lives? I identify issues.
Yep.
Right? So there's always a way for us to see that our past, even if it doesn't, our certification in this or a degree in that doesn't seem to match up what we're doing, I'm sure we can find the integration and the connection. So all of that we bring to the table. Of course we deserve to be compensated. That's the bottom line. Of course we deserve to be compensated. So Michaela says you speak from experience, not paperwork. Yeah. Now that paperwork can also give us, education and, knowledge that we might not have often have. I don't want to, disdain any of that. I think that that's powerful. However, is there anything like experience? I don't think so. So that's my reason number 2. Reason number 3, and I don't know if this may end up being a short show, but reason number 3, increased perceived value. When that potential, that prospective client, she ended up becoming a client, but when I said to her $50 an hour, that was a lot of money to me. And I thought, how dare I even ask for that? You better tell her 40. No, you better tell her 30. No, you better just do it for free, Marianne, because what you have to offer really isn't that valuable that anybody would want to pay for it. That's what's going through my mind. In her mind, though, $50 an hour sounded like, is that all? She said, is that all? So what was she thinking? Mm-hmm. I had another situation occur in not this past January event, but the event for 2015. And I was struggling because I was doing an event every year that I absolutely loved, but the profit margin on it was so low that there's no way I was going to be able to continue doing it. It took up a lot of time, effort, and energy to do it, and I might have made like $500 when it all was said and done for weeks and months of preparation. And so I thought, as much as you love to do this, you're not making any money. You're going to have to change it. So I went to a bunch of women who were in my target market. They were people that would represent the kind of women that I would want to come to my event. And I said to them, I want them to give me honest feedback about my event. I'm not going to tell you what I've been charging for it, but I would like to know from you what you think I should charge from it based on what I am offering and what I give. So I gave them all the details, and all of them came up with a figure of about, I think it was $19.97 to $24.97 for a 3-day weekend for what I had. It was a small, intimate setting, luxurious location on the water, deep dive work. That's what they said, $19.97 to $24.97. And I was like, oh, okay. And they said, well, what have you been charging? And I said, well, $3.97 to $5.97. And they were like, some of them were aghast. Some of them were like, are you out of your mind? You know, and that's why I wasn't making any money, you know. And they would say things like, you know, look at the value here. And they tried to just convince me that I needed to raise my prices. Well, there was one or two women that went silent. They didn't say anything to me. And I was thinking, what are they thinking? And then that was it. We all split up, walked our own ways. And then she came to me afterwards and said, do you want to go to dinner? So I said, sure. So we went to dinner that night, and we're just chit-chatting. And I had to ask her, I said, what were you thinking? You didn't say anything. And she goes, well, when you first started talking about your event, I'm thinking, I'm in. I want to go to that. Oh my gosh, I need that. Then you told me you only charge $3.97 to $5.97, and my thought was, oh, she doesn't know what she's doing. And then I thought, I'm not going. It was such an eye-opener to me that my price reflected low quality, incompetence, and I never realized that people actually looked at things that way. But when I thought about it, I thought, well, of course it would. You know, when we buy a luxury item and it's a high quality item, we don't mind paying the extra money for the craftsmanship. And I know I had a high quality, luxurious, well thought out, deep event that changed lives. But I wasn't giving off that perception. I was giving off the exact opposite perception. So after that, the fear rose up. If I raise my prices, will anybody really come? I decided I'm raising my prices, even if they don't come. I felt like if I raised my price, early bird price to $9.97 to $14.97. Quite frankly, I couldn't go all the way to $19.97. It wasn't there mentally, right? But to raise it from $3.97 to $9.97 and $5.97 to $14.97 was this jump. And so I put my stake in the ground, and you know, there's something that happens when you make that decision. It was almost like I was saying to the cosmic forces of the world, I don't care what you say, I don't care what you do to me, I'm making a shift. And I believed, and I first thought God actually, I believed that I had the forces of the heavenly so behind me because I wasn't valuing myself before, and now I was. And believe it or not, but I had a full house. I had a full house, and I was just amazed by that. And it taught me a lesson, you know, our prices can either degrade the perception that people have of us, or it can upgrade the perception people have of us. Now, obviously, you want to have quality work that's going to be behind, you know, your promise. You don't want to give empty promises, but this is assuming I was way over delivering, giving way more than my price reflects. So now I was just bringing the price to the level of the quality of the service, you know. So it taught me a lesson. Powerful reason number 3, it gives you increased perceived value. Your price will give you increased perceived value. You can either degrade your work or upgrade your work by the price that you put on it. Anybody have any questions about that or a thought about that? How do you want to be viewed? You know?
I think you make so much sense because a lot of people do tend to devalue themselves. And it's so good that you had a group of people to help you realize your value.
Yeah, that brings up another point too. You know, sometimes we feel like we're just stabbing in the dark when it comes to our pricing. I remember asking this one coach, and she charged $1,000 an hour, and I thought to myself, oh my gosh, you know, I was paying it. I paid her $1,000 an hour, and I bought a package of, you know, coaching and so forth. And I kept thinking, what's worth $1,000 an hour, you know? And as our time went on, I was starting to feel like, well, maybe I got gypped here. Maybe I got duped into thinking that I was going to get this great thing that was going to make me $1 million or something. I don't know what I was thinking, but maybe I made a mistake. The next call we had, she delivered one little tip to me, one little tip, a shift in my mindset about how I was viewing my whole process of engaging clients and having discovery sessions. Discovery sessions are those sessions that you have with people where they call you, you talk to them about your coaching service and whether or not it's a good fit for them or not. Okay, it's an exploratory session, and it's free. You're just trying to figure if you should work together. Well, I would have those discovery sessions, and then I'd have another one with the same person, and I have another one with the same person, because they kept having more and more and more questions and a lot of indecision around it. And it was very frustrating because I would be on the phone with somebody sometimes up to 8 hours before they signed up for my coaching or not, you know? And I didn't know how to transition and convert it into a coaching relationship. And one phone call I had with her in like 20 minutes, she spoke to me about how I could shift that. And by shifting that, I changed everything in my approaches. I went to one call rather than 2, 3, or 4 of them. So we shortened that whole process. And then I went on to one coaching contract after another. And probably that one suggestion, it ended up, the whole rest of my coaching after that, I've made thousands and thousands of dollars on that one tip. You know, so it's not paying for the sessions, it's paying for that piece of wisdom that's going to take you to the next, that's going to give you the results you're looking for and the results your clients are looking for. Michaela has a question. Let me see. I have to go back up here. I'm preparing to launch a 6-week online group program at $153. It's my first product, marketing to Christians who are searching for God's strategy for their gifts, how to use their testimony to create a personal ministry, and find ways to make money speaking. So my question is, for a first timer, do you think $153 for an online group program is a good price? I've seen anywhere from $47 to $597 for other folks' program. Okay, let me just put some notes down on that. 153, 6 weeks. Okay. The number itself isn't really what is important, though we're going to talk about that. You know, what's a fair number? And like you said, Michaela, you can go anywhere from $47 to $597. So what you're saying is that 6 weeks, and the way you do it is going to be your process to help people get from point A to point B, right? Now, the end result they're looking for, let's look at that. The end result they're looking for. I would like you to very clearly state for me what, after 6 weeks, what should be the end result that they have. If you write that down, because that is what they're paying the $153 for. That end result to be able to do A, B, C, or D. Okay? I'll give you a minute to do that. And while you're doing that, Michaela, I'm going to go on to reason number 4. All right? The fourth reason is very simple. And the reason is, quite simply, you're in business. You are in business. And if you're in business, that means you have to make a profit. That sounds like a duh. But to me, that evaded me for a long time. So this isn't a hobby. It can be a hobby if you want it to be a hobby. But if you're saying it's a business, then you have to call it a business. And businesses, in order to be a business, you have to make a profit. Now, maybe you don't have to make a profit the first year or the second year or even the third year. You know, and the IRS is going to say you're still a business even if you have a loss every year. And you can even carry those losses forward. But you have to have a profit motive. You have to have a profit motive. So what does it take to make a profit in your business? How do you even figure that out? Well, the first thing is you have to know what your business expenses are. So the amount of money you make doing what you do has got to at least cover your business expenses. Number 2, at some point anyway, sooner the better. Number 2 is, are you needing to pay for living expenses out of your business? Do you have to take a salary in order to pay for living expenses? Well, you have to include that too. And then, are there lifestyle choices you want out of your business? You know, car, vacation, gifts, donations, all those things. So that becomes your number. So let's say that's $100,000. That's your number. And if you only have like 20 hours a week to actually work your craft, and the rest of the time you have to be marketing, you're working on your systems, you're putting together emailing campaigns, you know, whatever else you're doing, you can only have 20 hours a week. So that means only half the time do you have to make that $100,000. So your pricing has to take that into consideration, right? So that's going to mean that $100,000 is, I think, $83.33 a month. You have to make $83.33 a month, $8,300. That's about $2,000 a week. So if you have 20 hours to work in, 20 hours at $2,000 a week, you have to make a minimum of $100 an hour. All right. So does that make sense? Now, you can make more than $100 an hour by leveraging your time, doing group programs, you know, like Michaela's talking about. So I don't know what your number is. You need to know what your number is. But the bottom line is you have to make a healthy profit. And therefore, the money that you charge has got to include that. Make sense? All right, so let's go back to Michaela's question. Hi, Anna. She's a sweetie. So $153 for an online group program. That could be a very decent and I'm gonna look at it from your angle first, Michaela. All right. If you had 10 people sign up for your program, that means you're going to be making $1,530 for your $1,530 for 6 weeks of showing up, plus the work that you're going to be doing. So you have to tell me, how does that sound to you? Now, here's the other thing. When we're just starting out, we can charge less because we're getting feedback. All right? So if $1,530 doesn't sound like a lot over 6 weeks, or it could sound like, I don't know what your needs are, but if you put it in the context of this is a beta program, this is an introductory program, and one of the reasons why the pricing is low is because I want feedback from you. I want testimonials if you like it. You have to get something more in return, okay? So you just said they will have clarity on how to use their spiritual gifts, natural talents, life experiences to shape their personal ministry and strategy. They'll learn how to share their testimony in a powerful way to make big kingdom impact. And they'll learn how to use technology to get more exposure. So here's the thing. The people that you're going to attract want that. And if they want that, then $150 is not a whole lot of money for them to pay for all that. So I think that the pricing is low. However, you may be in a group of people that are not used to paying for anything for those kind of services. They may be used to, they may think that they're trying to get it for free. All right. So you're going to have to put, you're going to have to put your stake in the ground though, and value yourself. Put your stake in the ground and value yourself. If you believe $153 for 6 weeks is, and I will never be the one to tell you this, but if you believe that that amount of money is something that you're going, wow. I once had a 6-week program. My very first 6-week program was a teleseminar, and I charged $127 for it. And I had 10 people come to it. So I was making a little less than what you're saying here. All right. If you have 10 people, then you'd make a little bit more than what I was making. But I was so excited about it. It was like energetically, I was thrilled that people showed up. They did the homework. They got breakthrough. It was a wonderful entry point for me to get some confidence. And this is what I'm talking about, is confidence. All right. So if this $153 makes you feel good, if it excites you, and it's your first one, and it gives you the opportunity to see how this plays out, then I say $153 is excellent. If it makes you go, that's a lot of work for only that amount of money, well, then you got to regroup here. So maybe you can let me know, what are you thinking? How does it make you feel? I'll give her a little bit of time to answer that question. So for those of you who really just joined, all right, she said, I've been contemplating going higher. All right, maybe you can write why. You know, and if you want to get on and come to the open seat and we can talk a little bit more easily about it, feel free to do that. I don't know if you're in a position to do that. You might have kids around and all of that, or not really, because I know I show up on Blab sometimes and there's no way I want anybody to see what I look like at that moment, you know. So, but if you want to, feel free to. And for those of you who are just really joining, we've been talking about why we should charge well for our services. And I'm just going to reiterate the 4 powerful reasons, and you can go back and listen to it later. But the first one is because you will get better results and your clients will get better results. There's no doubt about that. And I explain why that is. Number 2 is you deserve it. You're bringing to the table all this education, experience, heart and soul. You deserve to be compensated for your services and all the education. So it's not just in the moment, but everything that you bring to the table at that point in time. It increases your perceived value. Higher prices increase your perceived value. And really what this is all about is perception. People pay for perceived value. Sometimes if your prices are too low, they do not value the work, the high quality of work that you have available to them. And the 4th reason is you're in business. You're here to make a profit. And if you can't make a profit with the amount of money that you're charging, then you're not going to be in business very long. And then your services are not going to be used by the people who need to use them. Okay, so those are the 4 reasons. Back to Michaela. I'm thinking about making the 153 for my current friends, contacts, and when I open the cart for the public, make it closer to the $500 mark, because to work with me one-on-one is $333 a month. So for 6 weeks, I would technically a little more attention. I'll be at attention. 153 is crazy. I just had it stuck in my head, but I'm realizing it's not right. Okay, so if 153 is too low for you, then the only way to really justify that is to start it off as a beta program where you're going to get feedback from people, knowing, and you can even tell them that if you're going to stick to that price, tell them that the next time you offer it, the price is going up to 500. So get in now. I would say, I don't know why 153 is your price. Take it to 197 for a 6-week program. But you have to be very clear, Michaela, what the benefits are. Oh, I see. Okay, got it. What the benefits are to your students. They have to have very clear benefits that they're going to receive from doing it, and that whoever wants those specific benefits, they won't have a problem paying that 153 or whatever number it is that you choose. Okay? Got it. All right. Well, I hope that helps. So let me just tell you too, anybody again who's interested in my free training, you can go once again. Can you just put that in there one more time, Wendy, for me?
Yes.
Okay. And let me tell you too that there's 4 parts to it. Let me give you what those 4 parts are. The first part is my 8-step model from converting your expertise to cash. And it's very clear the different steps that you have to go through and where you start and where you end up in creating a business of converting your expertise to cash. And I have to say this, the first hurdle a lot of people have to get over is that they are an expert. A lot of people don't like to call themselves an expert who are experts. They don't want to call themselves an authority. It seems like proud and arrogant, like, what are you, some kind of expert? Well, yeah, you know, you have to first believe it before anybody else will. So part 1 is about the 8-step model. Part 2 is 5 best practices that build confidence quickly. So remember I told you that the difference between me making $2,500 a year and $10, $20, $50,000 months, yeah, $10, $20, and $50,000 months, what's the difference between those two? And it's confidence. All right, so in part 2, I give you 5 best practices that will build your confidence quickly. Part 3 is about strengthening the beliefs you need to gain the results you desire. Thank you, Wendy, I see that. Strengthening the beliefs you need to gain the results you desire. Are your beliefs working for you? Or are they working against you? And I address some common beliefs that are going to hold you back about yourself and about the value of your services. That's addressed in number 3, part 3. And part 4 is about creating an empowered money mindset. We each have stories, and the stories that are programming about money. Maybe we're getting programming about money from the church, our community, our friends, just the people we associate with. We might have prejudices about people who make money, who charge a lot of money. Some of you might listen to this and think, who does she think she is charging that kind of money? You know, there's mindsets that we have about money. And if you have a disempowered, lack-minded money mindset, you will not be able to charge well for your services. Period. The end. So that's going to be part 4. So again, convert your expertise to cash-freetraining.com and go over there, get yourself a free copy, and I believe it's going to take you further in fulfilling your dream business. So this is Marianne Amen, and it's time to close. But I hope to hear from you, see an email from you, tap into that free training, and want to say God loves you, and He has a dream in His heart that He planted in you. Go and do it.
Thank you for listening to Your Magnificent Life in Business with Marianne Amon. You can hear Marianne live every week or on demand 24/7 right here on Radio Star Worldwide.
Okay, we are done for the week. See you later.